breaking the self-doubt cycle. You know, a lot of people create thoughts and feelings that disempower them, that make them feel invalidated, that make them feel enabled, that make them feel incapable, leading to this pattern of self-doubt that makes them feel like within their own mind that they're not able to do something, that they're not capable of doing something. So they live this life where they secretly doubt themselves, and they replicate these behaviors of not going for their purpose, not going for the things that they actually want to participate in as far as circumstances and situations, just because internally all along a person can really doubt their own ability, doubt their own capability to be or do something. But the truth is, we all have access to greatness. You just have to access your internal greatness first so you can actually bring that forward, because everyone has access to anything and everything. But what we do with our access just depends on our state of being, on our mindset, right? I don't want to say necessarily mindset, because you don't necessarily have a mindset. You really just want to like set your mind on something and then allow it to come into existence. But that's another topic for another time and stuff like that, right? So the mind is inside of a cycle, meaning we replicate and duplicate patterns of behavior based upon a pre-established subconsciously embedded cycle of thoughts and feelings. So whatever you're experiencing right now as a thought and feeling that's emerging on the conscious level is always going to be based upon some subconscious program that has yet to be investigated, and fucking you have yet to be liberated from that cycle of thoughts and feelings, right? When it comes to the pattern of self-doubt, it means that the mind is engaged with a pattern of thoughts and feelings that disempower it and sow feelings of inability, incapability. It's the self-perpetuated image of ourselves that we sell to ourselves that creates this feeling of not being valid or good enough, right? So we are using our minds to chemically induce ourselves into a state of being of self-doubt, meaning that self-doubt is a feeling that we replicate and duplicate based upon not looking at the thoughts and feelings that we generate. So self-doubt is something that we create, perhaps based upon early childhood experiences, that unfortunately, we use as reference points to create our current reality, because our current self-image a lot of the times is going to be based upon how someone was treated when they was a kid, what they was validated, invalidated on. So they're going to create this mechanism of blocking themselves from doing something based upon what someone else told them about them, So that's the first thing to get rid of. Don't put your faith and belief in what other people tell you. Put your faith and belief in yourself, because whether you believe it, whether you think you can or can't do it, it's gonna be just based upon your mind, right? Because you have these swimmers right now that fell from during mountain climbing, and they barely have limbs, yet they swim because they didn't tell themselves with their mind that, oh, I can't do it, oh, I feel doubtful, right? There's a person out here with a full set of limbs that is scared to swim and can't swim, and there's a person out here with barely any limbs that's still swimming, that still figured out a way. And it's all just due to the perception of the mind. So if you just change the pattern of your mind, if you change what's on your mind, if you change the content of your mind, you'll be kind of rebirthed anew, right? So you'll be able to do more with less and things like that, contrary to popular belief, right? So we are using our minds to chemically induce ourselves. Now, key word, we are chemically inducing, abducting ourselves, creating a feeling, basically creating a reality within ourselves that we are not good enough, that we are invalid, and things of that nature, right? So we proceed to create that reality of not being good enough, of being invalid, of having this, carrying this self-doubt with us everywhere. But see, it's like everyone experiences self-doubt, everyone experiences fear, but you gotta be able to process it, because at the end of the day, no one knows what's gonna happen tomorrow, not even the president or the prime minister of your country. They can only embrace the unknown with an open arm and stuff like that, right? So a lot of the times, more often than not, we induce ourselves to chemically feel the self-doubt, right? Because of a subconscious program that's below the detection threshold that we have yet to question and bring into submission, and slowly and surely remove that pattern, right? Because patterns, you've been doing them for so long, it's not going to be something that you just take off and then, it's going to take some time, it's going to take energy, and it's going to take effort. So it's not going to be like Nothing's for free. Nothing is easy. We live in a society, we live in a culture where everything appears to be super convenient and everyone is so comfortable. But that's the same thing that's actually killing your potential. It's the same thing that's hurting your potential. Is this idea of, being comfortable and, not wanting to put in effort and energy only at your job. That's why, a lot of successful individuals would come up with a quote saying, hey, you should work harder on yourself than you do at your job. Because at the end of the day, like, your value comes with you everywhere. Your character comes with you everywhere. Some people have a superior character. Some people have a less superior character. From the perspective of some people are men of character, some people have no character whatsoever because they haven't worked on themselves enough. So you got to make sure you're working on yourself, right? So we are coexisting with a self-doubt cycle, right? So coexisting with the self-doubt cycle is going to be negative, obviously, because you will not be able to live an authentic and confident life. So self-doubt is a subtle, energetic charge. Every belief that we carry is an energetic charge, right? That operates as a part of our belief system, causing us to operate from this low vibrational space. Because if you have self-doubt, you're operating from a low vibrational space. Maybe survival, it could be a mix of things, but it's not a space where you can, engage with this abundant life. It's not a space where you can be open to new things. It's a space that keeps us very contracted and very limited in our perception and our internal universe and shit like that, right? So, survival-based instincts, for example, right? It makes you settle for less than what you could truly be worth. So why would a person choose to operate from a space of a disempowering nature rather than be operating from a space from an empowering nature, right? Now, everyone knows this, but how come no one changes it or does something about it? Because like I said, people literally believe in the fake induced chemical reality that their mind created to them based upon whatever their subconscious have been programmed with, or whatever your environment, whatever environment you've experienced. Because the environment you grew up in, a lot of the times will proceed to shape and form your thinking and the way you feel and shit like that, right? Or it will influence your mind as far as how you perceive things and shit like that, right? So they believe what they are experiencing within their own mind and body is real, not realizing that this is just the mind replicating and duplicating this pattern of thoughts and feelings. And it's really like a cloth that we wear. It's really like rose-colored glasses that we see the world through, not realizing this is just a filter of perception that we are inducing with our own mind, right? To me personally, right, the self-doubt cycle is a form of running away from challenges. It's a form of running away from the uncomfortable and harsh reality of life, because it's easier to play victim than it is to be victorious. So someone that has a self-doubt cycle will just continue to let their life, they will continue to experience what people may refer to as fate, meaning that, oh, this just meant to happen to me because I'm not good enough. Oh, this was what's gonna happen anyways. It's not like your life was gonna happen the way it is. It was that in the mind, the person accepted what was gonna happen to them first before it even happened physically. So if you're someone that's, scared, full of fear, and someone that's, a predator, from the perspective of someone that's gonna rob you, sees that energy from you as far as your body language, right? They pick that up from you, they're gonna rob you because they already know it's gonna be like taking candy from a baby, because you're showing behaviors, you're showing energies, you're emitting an energy with your mind that says, I don't feel good about myself, I'm not good enough. So it's like that. You are already making a statement about yourself when you go about your life, just based upon how your mind is programmed and shit like that, right? So, but here's the thing, right? You gotta keep in mind, everyone has doubts, but you need to move regardless of this self-paralyzing belief. The more you can handle, the more you'll get out of life. The less you can handle, the less you'll get out of life, right? Because everyone has doubts. Everyone is unsure of the future, like I said earlier. But it's about your openness to it. Because really, when you're looking at the future, you just move with some form of clarity, which we're going to talk about a bit later, soon and shit like that, right? Really, like the self-paralyzing belief, it's just things that we hold on to, like it's our beating heart. Someone can like self-doubt themselves so much they can't let go of it. It becomes like they cling on to that mind. And because that person is clinging on to that mind, they keep giving that reality within their mind more thoughts, more feelings, more of their awareness, more of their time, which charges it right? It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and shit like that, right? This thing becomes bigger than what it really is. Because again, the problem is big because we perceive the problem like it's big. But the problem is not a problem. If the problem is a problem because we lack the ability, not lack the ability really, we just lack the perception to see the solution within that problem. Because there's no problems that exist. Problems are just a part of everyday life. But a successful CEO, for example, would be able to handle more problems. So if you want to be more successful in your life, you want to be able to handle more problems. That's the key, right? But it's about how you deal with these problems. Do you deal with these problems with an open mind, or do you deal with these problems with a very closed mind, right? Right? So all the times, right? A lot of the times, just by paying attention, like I said earlier, to a limiting belief, which is just an energy charge that we chemically induce within our mind and body, we make that thought, feeling, neural network bigger and stronger because we keep giving it attention, we keep giving it energy, and we keep making that reality bigger than what it is. But it's a reality that only exists within us. And it may exist in other people as well around us and shit like that, and that's up to you and your discernment at the end of the day. But it's a reality within us, no more than less, and we can learn to view reality from a different space, from a different perspective, right? But if we take our mind off of it, right? Learn to take your mind off of the self-doubt, because the only reason it exists because we keep giving it energy. It's like talking to a person in real life. The only reason they're around you is because you keep giving them attention and energy, and they might like that attention. So look at your thoughts and feelings like the same thing. Your thoughts and feelings, they just like your attention because they need to feed so they can stay alive within your mind, right? So all you gotta do is take your attention off of these things, and you will, over time, that belief, that charge will just reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. And you'll be able to perceive reality from a more clearer perspective, right? Hopefully without clouding it with other things that are happening within your space, that are happening within your mind, right? So if we take our mind off of it and focus on the solutions, the things that we need to do, right, and we ignore the chemical induction of it, right, that will become bigger and that picture will come together. Because if you put your mind on the solution will come together, and that picture will become bigger. That those pieces start to put themselves together, right? Because some people will pay attention to their problems and that will get bigger. Some people pay attention to the solution and the solution gets bigger. So don't pay attention to the problem, focus on the solution. Yet better yet, focus on the many possibilities that the solution can come. Because it might not be one solution, it might be multiple solutions, right? But people get too lost into Saturn, for example, and start to develop too many boundaries, limitations, and restrictions, and too much and the wrong discipline, and start to live in this limited reality, this limited mentality, right? So you don't want to sell yourself away from all the other possibilities within this reality, right? So what I have to say last is this, right? I would recommend just simply practicing clarity, right? Because when you're practicing clarity, what you're doing here is you're not paying attention to your thoughts and feelings. What I want people to do is to pay attention to nothing, literally nothing. And if you can do this in a dark room, even better. Go into a bathroom, turn off the light, or in your room, turn off the light as dark as possible. And I want you to be in a space of nothingness, meaning I want you to be in a space of clarity. So what this nothingness will do is when you're not giving your thoughts and feelings to anything, you're allowing it's like giving your mind this refresh, where now you're almost kind of like resetting the mind temporarily, where you're accumulating the space of viewing reality through nothingness. So this will create a mind of clarity, and then your mind will not be so cluttered with all this awareness from the past that you bring together that creates this lack of clear perception. We'll put it that way, right? Because the only reason we're having this self-doubt cycle a lot of the times is because we keep giving our mind to these patterns that are from the past, and we keep replicating these things in the present. So we bring the past to the present, right? We bring past experiences, shit that we've been invalidated on or validated onto the present, and we make that the precursor for how we should move within the present moment. So that's the programming of the subconscious mind. And you want to be really careful because man, look, a lot of things could have happened to you when you was younger. Someone could have told you, hey, you're stupid, you're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But that's the thing. You don't want to take your energy, your faith, belief, and imagination and put that shit in what someone else told you. You want to take that and put that into stuff that you want to manifest. You want to take that and put that back into yourself. So have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and don't give energy to this doubt cycle, because the more you give it energy, the bigger it becomes and shit like that. So you want to create a way to process the system. And one of these things is going to be just don't give any attention to these old thoughts and feelings. And these old thoughts and feelings, since it's a part of your subconscious, and you have to kind of like, because this gets a clogged toilet. So you want to be able to flush the toilet mentally, and slowly and surely, these things will leave you if you just leave these things alone. Like if you just don't pay attention to these thoughts and feelings, and it's going to try to come up, it's going to try to make you feel a certain way, but don't pay attention to it. Don't give it your awareness. Don't give it your time. Don't give it your energy. Because like I said, it's just like one of your narcissistic friends. They just want your attention. They just want your time. They just want your energy. If you don't give that narcissistic friend your time and energy, eventually they're going to go away somewhere else, right? So that's what you want to do with your mind. You don't want to give these thoughts and feelings, these narcissistic ass thoughts and feelings that want your attention, that want to occupy your mind, your awareness. This way, they'll slowly and surely start to leave you and be like, oh man, this dude, he don't want to hang out with us no more. But here's the thing, right? It will kind of still be a part of you almost, but it won't be as relevant to your life. And these things will try to come up. This is why you have to have a routine. You have to have a practice that on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, you're taking note of what's going on within your mind and shit like that, right? Like one thing I have, for example, is, I call it like the Book of Shadows and shit like that. Just, it's another way for me to say, okay, I know I have shadows within my subconscious that I have to keep track of and shit like that. So I keep track of all my self-doubt cycle, all my subconscious patterns that replicate and duplicate within this book. And I make sure I keep a record of these things. I'll give it a name, like this is fear, this is worry, this is stress. And I'll remind myself, don't pay attention to these things, don't give these things energy. So you want to have some type of journal so you can record what these feelings are, because these things are like natures within the mind, and the better you know yourself, the better you know your own nature, because your own nature can work against you. So you want to be able to take these natures that are expressing themselves on an extreme space and bring it back into a balanced space, bring it back into an equilibrium space and stuff like that. Like I said, everything takes time, but you just want to make this a part of your life. This is not, you watch this video, love, peace, and light, I solved my problem, I'm off of the rainbow. No, this is continuous shadow work. This is a lifestyle that a person has to implement and kind of like, I'm not gonna tell you what you have to do, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Because if you think, man, it's a lifestyle, that's what I'm saying. Healing is a lifestyle, it's a way of life. So you have to make it a part of your life. If you don't make it a part of your life, it's like going to the gym. You're gonna work out 1 week, yeah, I'm jacked, brother, praise God or whatever, and then you're gonna stop going to the gym, your muscles are gonna leave you. So if you don't put in continuous effort and energy into it, then it's not gonna work. And make sure you have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, man, you better find your purpose quick, because like, you have to live literally for greatness. You can't live for what's that word called, man? Mediocrity, yeah, mediocrity and shit like that, right? Because if you live for mediocrity, you're gonna keep creating that self-doubt cycle because it's keeping you at mediocrity, or whatever the fuck the word it was, right? When you're doing shadow work, you're telling the universe you want to be greater. You're telling the universe, you're telling God you want to purify your mind. So take this seriously, because this shit is not no peace and light shit. This is shadow work. This is darkness work. You gotta work on the stuff that you got going on in the dark so you can let go of these things so your mind can become more free to experience more. And with that being said, that's all for today. This was Breaking the Self-Doubt Cycle. I hope you guys liked it, and I'm gonna see you guys on tomorrow's motherfucking video. 11 out. Peace.